Welcome to the Editor's Note Comics Podcast.
I think that this world, it needs men that are willing to make the hard call.
Central Maine's best comics podcast, by default.
Ain't no thing like me except me.
Here are your hosts, Zach and Jared.
The maps come with me. No. When do we start?
Hey, it's time for a show.
Is it ever?
Sorry.
And how?
Sorry, we're just having a conversation that's not on brand appropriate.
It's not even worth me asking Emily because I know the answer would be absolutely not.
Hey, I have small amounts of news.
Oh, okay.
Well, only in the smallest
All right.
bits. I gotta
beware the Ides of March.
No, I don't care.
Oh, you should. Bad things happen on the Ides of March.
If you're local and come to the store, I marked a bunch of stuff down.
Are you having a Pi Day sale?
No,
Oh.
it was just, they're not like it was just, oh, this has been in here forever. They're clearly not selling at this price kind of thing.
Oh.
It's just knocked down. If it's been in there for a while, its price got knocked down. In some cases, pretty significantly.
The people are waiting you out and they're winning.
It's stuff that's been there for almost 4 years. And
They're really waiting. They're very
Oh, boy.
patient. Yeah. Wow. That's stuff that's older than the store.
Yes, a lot of the stuff.
Are you talking about the Jedi laser tag?
I've already marked that down. I should mark that down again.
I should just give it away.
Hey, it sells on eBay, but
Then-
they're a pain in the ass to ship.
Then put it on eBay.
They're really big boxes.
Well, it's been sitting in your store since the day you opened it.
Yeah. But yeah, I marked a bunch of stuff down. Some graphic novels that have been sitting around forever got discounted pretty significantly. So yeah, check out, those things. Cheaper things now.
You could call it like a spring cleaning sale.
Also, I got a bunch of new stuff in this week, a bunch of old Silver and Bronze Age stuff. So, new stuff in there too.
Call the sale like I dusted the store and look what I found sale.
It's not a sale. It's just I'm marking things down. And I'm like, just
That's
want
technically
it
what a
gone.
sale is when you mark things down.
Well, that's just their sale price.
Oh, you use the word sale. Hey.
So everything's a sale.
Ah.
It is technically.
There you go. See?
I'm all about the money, honey.
Good for you. All about the Benjamins, baby.
I think that's all I have.
I really don't have much to add in the way of news. Daylight savings time sucks.
Okay, great. So you have nothing. We're going to go right into the news.
Before we get started, does anyone want to get out?
It's time for the news.
Wow, so judgy. Would you want to stay on this time all year round?
I don't know which one's better. I don't care about it.
I don't mind it being lighter later now. It's just that getting up is a pain because it's dark again. At least getting up was easier when the sun was up. Of course, the sun's up at 11 o'clock when I got up this weekend, so I guess it doesn't all matter. It's all moot point.
Oh, so much DC movie news of these movies that may or may not be connected in one form or another.
Okay.
Will Smith is out,
We knew that. We talked about that last week.
but in his place, it's a recast and an upgrade.
Carlton?
Idris Elba.
Wow.
Idris Elba is going to be Deadshot.
Okay.
I'll take it.
I don't hate it.
I enjoy him as a person or as an actor. I don't really know anything about him as a person. I guess he's also a part-time DJ.
Yeah, that was one of his early jobs when he wasn't getting acting jobs.
But also within the Suicide Squad movie, maybe it's called Suicide Squad 2, maybe it's just the Suicide Squad, the James Gunn directed one. We have the other characters that have been announced. Basically, everything from the first movie is thrown out. We have no idea if Amanda Waller is back or if Rick Flag is back. Margot Robbie was out, maybe she's back in. But the new characters,
Yes.
boy, it's a weird group. There's Ratcatcher.
Okay. Rat catcher.
They're real into poisonous gases.
Interesting.
King Shark. He's a giant shark with arms and legs.
Is he the one on the cover of the video game?
No, that's a different thing. But
Okay.
same idea.
Okay.
A big shark that walks around and he'll just eat your face because he's a big shark. And his name is King Shark. Polka Dot Man.
Please tell me Plant Man's in it. Please tell me Plant Man's in it. Please
Wrong
tell me,
universe.
Please tell me Plant Man's in it. Please tell me Plant Man's in it.
But Polka Dot Man,
What's his power?
he shoots polka dots at you.
That's
but
really...
sometimes they're razor blades.
That's really
Sometimes
weak.
they're balls. Sometimes he blinds you with a ray of polka dot lights.
So
He's a Batman villain.
He stuns you with the power of disco?
No, that's Dazzler.
What is really... You're kidding me.
That's an X-Men one. Yeah, not so much. I'm not really kidding on that. But yeah, so Polka Dot Man is in there.
What are you doing tonight? I'm going to go fight Dazzler. Well, you look stunning.
And Peacemaker, the man who believes in peace so much he's willing to kill for it.
Like the cult Peacemaker?
I don't know what you're talking about.
You don't know what the Peacemaker... Like, that was like a six gun in the West.
All right.
A Peacemaker. Bang. Peace was made. That's how it worked.
But that's his whole deal. He's there to...
Have you never seen the movie Tombstone?
Yeah.
You have or
With
haven't?
Kilmer and other people.
Yes.
Who else is? I don't care. I was gonna say who else is in it, then I just decided I don't care.
Throw down, boy. What do you do? Stand there and bleed? By the way, I've come up with a concept
Unnecessary slow motion in that movie. Good movie.
Oh yeah, when he's like in the no. I've come up with a concept for a summer podcast.
Okay.
I know you've planned the show out, but I think this would be great. I think I should be given control of the podcast again.
I have about 8 empty weeks for the rest of the year.
Okay, so during one of those weeks, this is something I had thought of. We have the manucation of Zach, and we watch a movie, like a guy movie that you've never seen, like Top Gun or something like that.
We got 8 open weeks.
It should be during the summer, like a summer sizzler blockbuster. Give the people what they want.
I don't want to watch Top Gun.
Listen, the people want you to watch Top Gun. I've done some unscientific informal straw polling, and there's at least one person that wants you to watch Top Gun.
What else do we got?
So it's 100% of the people polled.
The Fantastic Four apparently ruined the Gambit solo movie that we'll never see. Not complaining about that.
His power is he throws cards.
He can charge anything with kinetic energy.
So he just grabs
Mostly cards.
grabs a 52 pack of bicycles and just starts zinging them at people.
He could, if he could throw a bike. Just grab a hammer, throw a hammer, make it
totally
explode.
a 52 pack of bicycles.
Yeah.
You know what bicycles are?
Yeah.
What?
Cards.
Yes. So then why'd you say a bike? Like,
Because I thought it was funnier if he was just throwing bikes.
not really.
Of course, it'd be amazing. Just throwing exploding bikes at people.
Seems very impractical.
Seems amazing. I'd watch that movie.
Just walks around with a truck of bikes.
But we'll never see that movie because one of the many directors attached, Rupert Wyatt, said that the movie was about to start, or they were well into pre-production. They were going to start production pretty soon, but then the Fantastic Four movie came out, the one we saw, Fan Four Stick, and it performed so terribly they just slashed
Or the really bad science fair, as I call it.
Yeah. What were they doing there?
Having a sciencey fair.
Who just goes from science fair to science fair looking for interdimensional travel?
Top men,
Doesn't
Zach.
make sense.
Top men.
But because Fantastic Four was performing so badly when they were about to enter production, Fox slashed the budget pretty significantly. So they had to go back and rework the script, and it just never kind of recovered from that.
Top men. I think I made that joke when we reviewed that movie.
Probably.
Yeah.
Speaking of that movie,
What?
there's not much of a story to it, but someone put up a tweet this week that said something along the lines of like, no superhero movie ever fails, like in reference to Captain Marvel, and people are like, it's gonna bomb and blah, blah, blah. And director of Fantastic Four, Josh Trank, who doesn't really use social media much anymore after getting into a massive amount of trouble for calling his movie terrible the day before it came out,
Oh, yeah.
he just tweeted back to that, hold my beer.
Wow.
A man who has at least 3 separate times publicly just denigrated his own movie.
Huh. By the way, didn't Captain Marvel, isn't the number 2 grossing Marvel movie now?
I think it was... I don't remember.
It smoked the box office. I thought it did better than Black Panther.
I think it was the number 2 March domestic opening of all time, the 7th highest MCU movie opening of all time, but something like the highest opening for a female-led movie. I think that's
It's the highest. Yeah.
I think that's what the stats were.
Which, by the way, I
didn't write those down, so I might be off.
I had 10 minutes of downtime today. You know what I did? I went on Rotten Tomatoes today. I went on Rotten Tomatoes today, and I looked at the user reviews.
The review bombs.
Yeah, there are people you click on their profile, and they don't exist. They just created a profile for the sole purpose of bombing the movie.
Yeah.
It got 80% score from critics, people who get paid to make objective opinions.
I don't care what anyone says. I'll enjoy what I like, and I won't like what I don't.
There you go.
I'll go into some movies going, I'm not going to like this. Top Gun.
You will love Top Gun. I kind of want to be there when you watch it.
The Amazon Lord of the Rings TV series, some information came out about it, as much as when will it take place?
I just had a weird conceptual idea for that. What if it's Amazon and Middle Earth, and they're delivering things, but it's not overnight shipping?
They have to walk it to you?
Yeah, exactly.
It's going to take at least 9 hours?
Well, if you pay extra, you can have the Eagles drop it off.
But that movie is going to take place 3,000 years before the first Fellowship or The Hobbit.
Oh, so you mean it really is going to follow the first War of the Ring?
It's taking place in the Second Age, and also...
So pretty much it's taking place...
No, it'll be way before that.
No, it's like the first War of the Ring, when Isildur cuts...
No, that'll be before then.
It's going to be before that?
Yeah.
It probably leads up to that. I'm sorry, I'm not proficient with my Middle Earth at times.
Yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of other books out there other than the ones that people talk about.
The Silmarillion?
That's one of them.
Have you read that?
I have. It's insanely boring. I don't recommend it. It's insanely boring. It's like reading
A history
Really,
book?
it's like reading a wordy encyclopedia.
Isn't there is a plot to it though, isn't there?
There's a little bit. There's some there's a love story in there, and that gets referenced.
the love story that Aragon sings about.
Yeah, it's like, what's her name, like Luthien or something. Yeah. They do have my favorite bit in that. It's incredibly boring. Don't bother reading it. But they talk about how like the gods of that world made all the different races, and like 6 wizards were made to be like these kind of
Astari.
Guiding points, and hobbits were made to like till the land, and ents were made to help the forests. And then one of them was just like, I think it'd be really funny to have short, fat ones. We're going to make dwarves. Why? Hilarious looking.
Because I don't want to.
That's the reason dwarves exist.
I don't want to sing in tune with you.
But there's a bunch of other ones that like he had started and his kid kind of finished off, which I've never really I tried one of them and I got bored. So.
Oh, okay.
Whatever. I mean, there's a lot of information to pull from if you can streamline it a bit, and Amazon paid out the ass for this, so do your best, guys.
Yay!
I'll watch it when it comes out, because it's just going to be there. I don't have to try.
Yeah. It's included with Prime, isn't it?
Yeah.
Excellent. I'm included with Prime.
I guess there's a lot of Green Arrow news this week, so let's just tackle it all. In comic books, the series just ended last week, and DC's already like, nah, it's coming back, don't worry about it.
Good.
Be a very short hiatus. I guess they want to play around with him in the larger world before relaunching the book. What does that mean? Who knows? Does he die? Does something happen that would prevent him from having a solo title? I guess we'll see, but they're certainly implying that some things are going to happen, but then he'll be back in a few months in a solo title again.
Oh, you gotta take some time off. Go on a cruise.
But in television Green Arrow news, Arrow is ending after season 8. Good. Not because I never even watched the show, but it goes with my rule of no show should go past 7 seasons.
I
said that last
what season
week.
is it in now? Is it in season 7?
It's in season 7. They're going to do season 8, which I think it was like 10 or 13. It was something short.
Oh, okay.
It's fine. It's the beginning of the end of all of these crossover DC shows just for time. And I'm sure they'll bring them all back when they do like crossover episodes. So sure the characters will be back again. But yeah, 8 seasons. That's enough.
It's been a really long time since I've gotten into like watching a TV series. Like having to I need to know what happens next. I don't have a TV series that I feel the need to sit down for on a weekly basis and watch it.
I just have The Simpsons right now. But when I get CBS All Access, I'll watch those Star Trek shows, and I'll watch...
Yeah, Twilight Zone.
Yeah, Twilight Zone. And then when this Lord of the Rings show comes out, I'll check that out.
And but I don't...
And when Disney Plus comes out, I'm having a nice lull and not having anything to watch, because in like 2 years, I'm going to have a lot to watch.
The whole Disney library is going to be on Disney Plus.
Yeah, well, I'm more interested in the original material, the stuff that I haven't seen.
That's
yet.
one big memory stick. That's one big ass cloud they're keeping all that information on.
Yeah, it's kind of nice not watching any TV right now. I guess like when Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. comes back, I'll.
But see, I think the last series I followed and like watched with purpose was Sons of Anarchy.
Yeah, that's been gone for a while.
Yeah, it has. Yeah, like 3 or 4 years.
I think more than that. I think. And then again, what do I know? I didn't watch it, so.
Yeah, you missed out.
I'm okay.
No, you're not. You haven't even seen Top Gun.
Whenever people like recommend shows to me, I'm like, there's no way in hell I'm ever going to do that.
What if it could have been like the biggest, greatest, groundbreaking show of your life?
Yeah, but if I don't, I'm not going to commit that amount of time. It's like if people give you like books, I'm like, you're asking for a big time commitment here.
Oh, it's,
I'll find things on my own. Or maybe, I'll listen to podcasts and if they give suggestions.
What if people listen to your podcast and give you suggestions?
Then I'll go, I'll look into that, but I'll really be lying.
Okay.
Speaking of the Disney streaming service, there's an announcement of an animated show that should be a lot of fun based on the premise. Mar-vel is going to be developing a What If show. What If is a relatively long line of comics. It's not always ongoing, but it's always just like alternate universe stuff. Like, what if Loki picked up the hammer of Thor? What if Aunt May was a herald of Galactus? What if Flash Thompson was Spider-Man?
Oh, just like little one magazine shoots.
Yeah.
One book shoots.
And generally speaking, everyone dies at the end. Because they can, because it's an alternate universe where nothing matters.
And they don't we don't want to have to carry this on. So they're all dead.
It's just writers like to take the opportunity of and everyone's dead. But part of the rumor around this, and who knows if this is true or not, that they would be courting MCU actors just to come in to do 1 or 2 episodes based on some What If stuff. Also doesn't matter because they got a big catalog to pull from, along with, if they just want to make up their own what ifs, they can do that too, but I'll be on board for that. Add that to the list of shows I'm going to be watching in the next 2 years, and apparently all I do is watch television.
Wow. You've got a really busy 2 years coming up.
I know. I got to get a lot of reading in now.
I guess you got get the sunshine while you can. I mean, like read Area Man needs to be forklifted off couch after 2-year television.
It's gonna be like that thing out of Gilbert Grape.
Oh yeah,
Disney came out and that was the end.
yeah. When's the last time anyone saw Zach? Jared? I don't even go over there anymore. I'm not allowed to.
Go watch What's Eating Gilbert's Grape. That's a good movie. I haven't seen it in years, but I do remember that scene.
Starring your favorite, Johnny Depp.
And Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yes.
And I couldn't tell you another person in that movie.
Oscar winner, Leonardo DiCaprio.
The origin of the character of Venom was revealed this week by co-creator Todd McFarlane. He took over penciling duties for Spider-Man at 298, and Venom was introduced in number 300. And he basically said the only reason that character exists is because I hated that black suit and I wanted to get it off him. And I just wanted to draw the classic one. And that's how Venom was born, because he really hated the black suit and he was annoyed it took 3 whole issues to get rid of it.
Well, McFarlane is like a big name. Like he made all like the figurines, right?
Yeah, that's where he gets most of his money these days.
Mm-hmm.
And for quite a while. Can't really blame him. He's kind of the biggest name in it. So, I mean, he's found his money multiple times over.
He created Spawn, correct?
Yep, and he's still doing it. Still the same continuity all these years later.
Still a bad movie.
And a couple of trailers this week, because I think that's the end of that. First up,
I can't believe they got Martin Sheen in that movie.
I don't remember. I haven't seen it since the late
Oh, yeah, he was the bad guy.
I remember that cape, though. Boy, do I remember that cape.
That wasn't even the
It looked bad then.
Not as bad as like the devil demon creature.
Cool. Aladdin had its first full trailer this week.
Ba 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 ba.
I guess it has nothing to do with our usual stuff, but it's big pop culture-y, and Guy Ritchie's directing it, so why not? Aladdin had a trailer. It looks better than the teaser?
Yes, interesting. I don't know. I was having this discussion today. Like, it feels like Disney is trying to like pull on my childhood strings. You've got Lion King. You've got Aladdin. I mean, these were 2 like movies that were like
And Toy Story's coming out.
Toy Story. Well, Toy Story is like ongoing. It's not like they're remaking Toy Story, but they're making like live action Aladdin, live action Lion King. I think what made those movies so magical and special is because the world they were able to create and have them happen in.
I don't care about this at all. I'm not going to see it. I mean, I might, like, if my wife is like, hey, when that comes out on Redbox, pick it up.
Yeah.
That'll be my scenario where I watch this movie.
I don't see myself going to see it in the theater.
No, I don't really care.
Because I've seen this movie before.
Yeah, it didn't. I mean, there's a lot of like shot for shot stuff. So I'm like, why do I care? I don't know who the guy doing Jafar is, but I do not like that voice.
Very high pitched.
Yeah. Like, please stop.
Not as evil as he should be.
I didn't really like the reveal of Jasmine in the market because in the first time around, it's like she's just in like this kind of
hooded veil.
Yeah, like it's real. It's supposed to look like real, kind of common and brown and not stand out. But in this, she's just like, I'm wearing every color ever. Who will ever notice me here? Will Smith.
Fools of the Agrabah marketplace.
There is one good joke where they talk about like the whole, he's like, make me a prince. He's like, that is an insanely vague look. Then he makes a prince like 100 feet away. He's like, hello.
Look at my colors.
That was funny. That was a good gag. But when he started singing, well, half singing, half rapping, I'm like, oh, good. Just what we needed. It's like 3:11. Thank God. I really need some rap singing.
The genie was the original producer and parents just don't understand. House Party. Where's DJ Jazzy Jeff? Is DJ Jazzy Jeff going to be like, could he be like a sub character?
I mean, the genie's already a slave. What's below a slave?
He could be the magic carpet.
Good. Also, that's not a thing that movie really dealt with. He's a slave.
No, he gets freed at the end.
Yeah, but still.
Do you think he's going to wear the goofy build hat at the end?
I don't know what he's going to do. I mean, is he going to reference things like Jack Nicholson and Peter Lorre? All the things kids were into, especially in the 90s. You know how kids loved Peter Lorre.
Oh, don't forget the Marx Brothers.
Yeah, that's true, too. I forgot that one. All timely references.
Well, I think the thing is when they first did it, Robin Williams did all, because, I mean, with animated movies, they do all the audio first and then they draw to it.
Yeah, he just riffed for a while.
Oh, he just riffed for a while. So, like, the animators had to, like, bring that to life. Although a lot of them said it was kind of fun and, like, made drawing the genie and doing the genie exciting.
Yeah, I know.
Can you imagine all of the hand drawing that went into those animated movies?
A bit?
A lot.
But, yeah, whatever. It looks better than the teaser first made it look. I don't care for it personally. I'm not going to watch it. It's like, well, that looks better, but, you know, I'm not so blown away by this. I'm like, I gotta see this movie. I wonder how it ends.
I'm going to go ahead on a limb and say that Aladdin gets the girl, Jafar gets banished to a lamp, and...
it's an itty-bitty living space?
Yes. 10,000 years will give you such a crick in the neck.
See, that's fun. Just go watch the original, I guess. That's the point here. And then Batman Ninja Turtles had a trailer today, or as it's being titled, Batman versus Ninja Turtles. I'm like, when we have a Batman v anything, maybe stay away from that title.
I'd like to point out a couple of things. First of all, Batman kicked everybody's butt in this trailer. I don't think I saw anyone land a clean hit on him.
It's a bit of a weird casting choice because it's not Kevin Conroy doing Batman, but it's someone doing a Kevin Conroy impression.
Somebody doing Kevin Conroy doing Batman.
Yeah. I mean, I think it looks fun. The Turtles design was a little jarring, but I got over it by the end of the trailer.
Is Mark Hamill doing Joker in this?
No.
Oh.
It looks fun. I mean, it's a direct, DVD video. No reason not to see it.
Unless it's really bad.
There is that possibility. You never know.
They say friggin' twice in the trailer.
I didn't even notice.
I did.
I believe you.
Yes.
You're always one to notice slightly inappropriate words.
Yes, only the slightly inappropriate words. Not the fully inappropriate words.
I don't know. It looks fun. It's following the original run of the comic close enough from what was shown. So, yeah, why not?
All right. Well, there you go. When does that come out on DVD?
It was vague. It said spring.
Oh, it is meteorological spring.
It feels like this whole thing is like 25 years too late.
DVD.
Like when, Batman cartoons and Turtles cartoons were like the peak of things in the 90s. And now it's like, yeah, 2019. Checking the pulse of society there.
That's what we do on this show.
I mean, I'm definitely going to check it out. And I'm looking forward to it. I think it looks fun, but I guess not a ton to say. The trailer looked kind of cheap when they're like, well, we can't afford a voiceover guy, or I think so. They're just like these really cheap titles in between. They're like, an unknown city, a villain returns, blah, blah, blah. But they're not saying it. It's just like,
yeah, what the hell are the Turtles?
Cheap texts.
I wonder what the Turtles are doing in Gotham.
Interdimensional travel.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, I answered your question.
So what do they care if Shredder goes to another dimension?
I don't know. They're going to get him.
We got to get our guy.
I mean, it feels like at that point, like, oh, he's in another dimension. Let's just make sure he can't get back.
Exactly.
Someone else's problem.
Yep. Shut the portal down. All right. Call it a night. Let's go find Baxter Stockman.
And that'll about do it for pop culture news. All the news you can
listen to. It's all the news you can stand to hear us talk about.
Small amount of it. But from there, I guess it's time to move on to other kinds of news. Sporting kinds of news with Jared's Sports Reports.
He's running down the middle by the 50. He's at the 30. Bare-chested. The guy is drunk, but there he goes. Oh, and they tackle him at the 40-yard line.
It's time for another Jared Sports Report.
Well, all good things must come to an end, and that includes the point streak for the Bruins. They finally lost a game in regulation after I think it was 18 or 19 straight games where they got a point. So good for them. They made some hay. They made some climbing in the standings.
Is that any kind of history?
No, not really.
Okay. I don't know.
Just a good run for the team. Oh, when they can't remember who they were playing, but they were dressed up as the Hartford Whalers. Jack Edwards said, "Strip them of their blubber and burn them." That was a bit aggressive.
Wow.
Other sports news, the Celtics looked good for a couple of games.
Yeah, 4-game road trip in LA, won 3 out of 4. That's not terrible.
Didn't end the road trip on a good note.
No, but at this point, I mean, they're fighting for the number 3 seed.
Yeah.
But, I mean, 3 out of 4 on a long-time road trip isn't bad.
No, and Kyrie's kind of seemed to have turned a corner. He's kind of apologized for some of his actions recently in the media. Yeah,
he vacillates from, if you'll have me, I'd like to sign again here next year, to I don't owe anyone shit, to I hate talking to you guys.
Well, I think
it goes into these long, eloquent things about teamwork and play and rides.
Maybe he sees how bad things have gotten for LeBron and with the Lakers. He's like, maybe I don't want to go there anymore.
I mean, Lakers they're out. Statistically, they're out.
Yeah.
For the first time in LeBron's career.
Good job, LeBron. Now you're going to know what it's like to have a full summer off and not be in the finals.
When all of their young players are getting injured and all the old ones are still around. And
or see him like pointing at somebody who's wide open to defend him, and he's like the closest guy to him, and he doesn't go and defend them. Not a good look, LeBron. He might not be there very long. He may try and get out of there.
It was a 3-year contract, or was it 4? Was it 3 or 4?
I'm sure if you're LA, you're like, you know what? Good experiment, but if we can get rid of you and get somebody younger and continue to rebuild and not have to pay you, or not pay you as much.
Yeah, we'll see if he's going to kind of take the Shaq route of things of just like play till it's sad.
It's sad right now.
It's not that sad. He's still great.
Yes, but I mean,
he's still putting up like 20-something a night.
Yeah.
But is he going to get to that Shaq point of like, well, that was about 3 years too long?
I don't think he's like he's not that close to the end of his career. I mean, he's closer than he was at the beginning, for certain.
If the Lakers keep him through his full 3 or 4, I don't remember, year contract, that's the end.
Yeah.
Which is fine. I mean,
Cleveland's like,
that would put him at like a 20-year career.
Back to Cleveland. Wouldn't that be like,
He just keeps going back to Cleveland. Then he leaves them a year later just to go back one last time.
No, silly LeBron.
I think they emotionally couldn't handle that.
No, because they wouldn't know what to do. Other things, no free agent moves by the Patriots yet. All these teams are spending hundreds of millions of dollars, and the Patriots spent $0.
I've been seeing some of that pop up on Twitter of a lot of trades happening.
Yeah, Tuesday of this week was the first day of like official NFL free agency.
I saw Nick Foles was leaving the Eagles.
Yeah, he's getting paid too.
I mean, good for him.
Yeah. Oh no, he earned it. A couple of Patriots players have moved on, Trey Flowers, but they also picked up Michael Bennett for a defensive end rush. He's you may remember Michael Bennett from the guy who fought Rob Gronkowski at the end of the Super Bowl when they beat the Seahawks.
Oh, there was someone in the Cavaliers. And...
Oh yeah, that was a pretty good fight.
Oh boy, I don't even remember because
it
wasn't. I just saw the clip on Twitter.
Like shoved them up against the stanchion and like
some punches were thrown.
Yeah, and nothing hit.
Of course.
Yeah, that's about it. Oh, the University of Maine women are playing in the America East Championship game again this year, this Friday. A win there gets them into the NCAA tournament, so that's exciting. Good for them. The women's tournament.
I know. I was just thinking. I didn't have anything else.
Nope.
That I could think of. It's also not my report.
This week was also the 20th anniversary of them beating Stanford in the NCAA tournament for their first ever national tournament win. So there you go.
I guess if that's it for reports, it's the thing everyone's here for. I guess.
Us?
I mean, hopefully that's why. Hopefully you come back for the personalities.
For me to suck the tea out of my mustache?
Gross.
It happens. You know what that's like.
This was vodka, not tea. I've tricked you.
Wow.
Could you tell from that insane vodka smell?
Vodka doesn't smell.
Oh, yeah, it does.
Oh, I don't know. I don't really.
But we're going to move on to the movie of the week and do a non-spoiler and spoiler Captain Marvel review.
Now might be a really good time for you to get angry.
That's my secret. I'm always angry.
It's time for an Editor's Note podcast review.
As we do each and every time, we're going to start off with our non-spoiler thoughts on the 22nd or something Marvel Cinematic Universe movie. So depending on who you ask on the internet, Captain Marvel was either a great success or a terrible failure. I say, fine, pretty good.
It's a moderate success.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I liked it more than I thought I was going to, which is always a nice surprise. I was going into it just, I think Marvel has gotten, for the most part, better at their origin movies, but you still kind of have that general origin movie vibe, and I just want them to move on to the next thing, so it's like all the powers are established, and they can, not worry about establishing the character.
Yeah.
So if we're putting it on a scale of kind of like recent origin ones, I think it was better than like Doctor Strange or Spider-Man Homecoming or Ant-Man. Above those. Not as good as Black Panther, but above...
Ooh. It's right in line with, I think it's kind of I'd say it's on the same level as Doctor Strange. I think Doctor Strange is introducing us to also not just a new character, but a new concept with the mystic arts.
Yeah, I mean, you could say that as something is a little bit of a fault of this movie, although not a great one, is it doesn't really give us much new in the universe. All of the kind of like cosmic information we have all came out of like the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, and this doesn't really expand on that in any way.
No, I mean,
it gave us a new race, but...
Well, we already had Kree.
Well, I was talking about the Skrulls.
Oh.
But I mean, we don't get anything extra for like what Guardians gave us, and even when Guardians would go to like the couple of planets that they went to, you would see those planets, you would immediately kind of get what was going on in those worlds, versus the planets we saw in this one were just kind of, sterile.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think
I have a hard prostitutes time in this one.
No, there were no. But I think this
weird
is
planet.
That's why I would put it on level with Doctor Strange. Maybe Doctor Strange. I think it's so hard to compare those two movies. But Doctor Strange gave us new.
Well, you don't need to. I was just saying. No. And my general thought of like how much fun did I have watching this? I'm like a little bit more than I had watching Doctor Strange.
I'd say it's about the same.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, I mean, I really liked Doctor Strange.
Yeah, I thought I was going to go to this movie and enjoy it, and I liked it more than I did. So,
well, I mean, the thing about this movie is it's a standalone movie. I really liked that it was a standalone movie. You didn't really need to have a whole ton of previous MCU knowledge, because with Endgame, that movie don't care if you don't know anything. Yeah. It's not going to hold your hand. It don't have time to hold your hand.
It just yells at you, keep up!
Yeah. It says like, listen, you came here and you should have been prepared. Do you need to watch this movie in order to watch Endgame? I don't think so.
Probably not, but I mean, that's not the end-all be-all of things.
No.
Overall, I like the performances.
I like Brie. You know, she reminded me of kind of in this, like a female Captain America.
Yeah,
very idealistic, very
Well, I mean, more than anything, her whole thing is, she always stands back up, and that was literally what they did with Captain America. I was actually kind of annoyed at that. I was like, could you give her something that wasn't just standing up? Because that was his thing.
You said Captain, yeah. Like, that's the big moment in the movie, where she stands up.
Yeah, I mean, she does it a lot.
Yeah.
Which isn't a bad message, but we already have a different captain who's already done that same thing.
Yeah. Maybe it's a prerequisite to being a captain. All captains must stand.
In general, I liked her overall attitude because she goes, and from what we've seen in the trailers, this doesn't count as a spoiler, but like when she's on Earth, it's not like a super fish out of water thing. She's like, hey, where are these things and how can I find them? Great, thanks a bunch.
Yeah.
Universal Translator is working great. Like, it's not like what are these strange things? No, she's like, all right, where's the stuff I need?
Yeah.
Great, thank you.
I like that.
I like that. That was a nice change.
Yeah.
Because at first when she talks to a guy and she's like, where can I find communications equipment? And I was like, oh no, is it gonna be one of those things? But no, it wasn't. It was just that's how she doesn't know how to say where's a Radio Shack.
Yeah, exactly. When he points to a Radio Shack.
Yeah.
Things that didn't last longer than this movie. Radio Shack. There's still a Blockbuster.
There's one Blockbuster left.
I'm kind of disappointed they didn't use Maine at all.
Yeah, I mean that was only in a relatively recent book. I still think it's possible for Endgame because we saw that stuff with like Rocket rocking up around that spot that had a bunch of lobster traps.
Oh, okay.
So there's still potential for it. It's not that she did it. I mean, she just went to go join the Air Force. That's not to say that she didn't grow up somewhere different.
Yeah, that's true because there was a beach scene.
Yeah, there's nothing identifying, so it very well could be East Coast.
Yeah, just because
where she went to
her Air Force placement. Yeah, it's fair. It's also very much an ex machina that she, like, of all the places she lands. Well, no, because they end up in Louisiana.
Yeah. Action overall, I thought was kind of middle of the road. I'll say it's the second action scene of like she's fighting a bunch of Skrulls. That one was a lot of fun. Her hands are bound and she's beating the hell out of everyone. That was a fun action scene, but I think that was kind of the peak for action, which unfortunately is at about minute 15.
You didn't like the end fight, like where she like blows up a ship?
No,
with her body.
Not as much.
Spoiler alert: she blows up a ship with her body.
That's in the trailer.
Oh yeah,
for zapping about. No, I just thought the staging of that fight was more interesting, the kind of hand-to-hand one.
Yeah, kind of a different... Like, she doesn't really have her powers.
Supporting cast of this movie I like a lot.
The cat was awesome.
Samuel L. Jackson is Samuel L. Jackson, and he does a good job of being that guy. But the guy who stole the show from you, which who would have saw this coming, was Ben Mendelsohn as a Skrull.
He was good.
He is my favorite part of that movie. He's like, where's the scenery and how hard can I chew it?
Oh my God, he was hilarious.
He was having the best time.
He's my science guy.
But I mean, his prosthetic looked good. There was sometimes the Skrulls were CG and they stood out like a sore thumb.
Yes.
But the ones that they had that were in prosthetics looked really great, and I've never been like, that was a bad Ben Mendelsohn performance from something that I've seen, but he's never been really a guy that stood out to me. Change in this movie, he was awesome.
I think too, like he's able to hide behind the makeup of the Skrull, and
yeah, for whatever reason, totally shocked by that. But he was kind of the breakout for me on this.
I love some of the callbacks to different things, like in the movie too.
Yeah, it depends. It's a line I can't define because some of them worked really well. But then some of them were like, remember this? And there'd be like zoom in on the logo. I'm like, yes, I remember that.
I really wanted to go back and like when they're in the Blockbuster, the movies that you could see.
The first one I saw was Ghostbusters.
There's Ghostbusters. They blew up a True Lies standee.
Yeah, why not?
There was a movie First Night that had Sean Connery in it and Richard Gere.
Yeah, and
which was a moderate to...
There's a ton of 90s references in this. Except some of them work, some of them don't, and I don't really know what the line is. Like, why do I like that one or why don't I like that one? It just, some of them... I think if they called too much attention to it, like, if they're like, look at that label, remember that?
Yeah.
A little bit too much, remember that?
It was a good movie. It was a good movie for 90s punk girl bands.
Oh, boy, they beat you over the head with that.
Yeah, No Doubt. Who else was in it?
Yeah, No Doubt was the big... I've always hated that Waterfalls song.
Oh, TLC?
Never liked that song.
Oh, come on. Don't go chasing waterfalls, Zach.
It's a terrible song.
Stick to the rivers and lakes that you're used to.
No, they beat you over the head with the 90s music in this. I'm like,
I love 90s music.
But it's just
problem is there's no new metal. That was more 2000s.
The 90s weren't that long ago, so I'm not that nostalgic for it yet. Like,
what do you think that sales of Guns N' Roses and Nine Inch Nails t-shirts go through the roof?
They did have some of that in there, yeah.
Yeah. Well, she wears a Nine Inch Nails t-shirt for a while.
Yeah, for a good chunk of the movie.
Yeah. I was never really big into Nine Inch Nails, though.
Depends on the album. They got some good stuff out there. I was just thinking about Nine Inch Nails songs. Sorry. I'm back.
Okay. Well, welcome back, Zach. For those of you who missed it, Zach just spent 20 minutes dreaming about peyote and 9 Inch Nails.
I thought the effects were good. I think they cleaned them up a bit from the trailers. Like, I know one of my complaints was like, she looks a bit rubbery. Right? I don't think you definitely knew it was CG, but it looked less jarring in the finished product, I thought.
I would agree with that. I thought the CG was moderately okay. There was some interesting choices, about how she's able to finally fully control her powers. It doesn't fully explain everything. The twist was very easy to see coming. The air quote twist.
Yeah, they surprised me. There was definitely one surprise in there. They did it less than I thought they would, but when they did do it, it worked. Like, who's a Skrull? There's one that I didn't see coming. I was like, oh.
Oh, is it the director?
No, I saw that one coming a million miles away.
Oh,
yes.
Yes. Later on in the movie?
Oh, it was pretty early.
Oh, it was early in the movie?
They only did this a couple of times. I can just say it and I'll cut it.
Oh, that was a good one.
Yeah, I didn't see that one coming.
That was a good one.
That was a good.
I would say it was less reference intense than Ready Player One. Like Ready Player One was like, look, stuff, pop culture.
Ready Player One is a slog, and I'll never watch it again. This wasn't a slog.
No.
This was fun.
No, this was fun. All that unwarranted hate. Are we gonna give it a review and then go into the spoiler results?
Yeah, mine is it's a definite see it in theaters.
Yeah, absolutely. I would agree.
It's a movie that I'm going to be happy to revisit when it comes out. I'll see it many times in the future. I had a lot of fun with it.
Yeah, I think that it far exceeded a lot of people's expectations. I think all of the unwarranted internet hate was exactly that, unwarranted. It is very much a see it in theaters movie. People are like, oh, it's very formulaic or it's going to ruin Endgame. No, it does nothing to Endgame at all. A. B, I like some of the backstory stuff. We didn't really talk a lot about Samuel Jackson. I liked him. I thought he was awesome, as always.
I think he had him and Brie Larson had the best scene in the movie, and I guess we could talk about that in a few seconds in spoilers.
Look out! There's spoilers ahead!
She had, it was really the two of them playing off each other. They had the best joke of the movie. Like, they get locked in a room together, and Fury, being, spy-like and kind of ingenious, figures a way using masking tape to get a fingerprint and to use it to get out of this door.
Yeah.
And then they have to do it a second time, and she just, melts it open. He's like, you could have done this the whole time while I was playing with tape? She's like, well, I didn't want to steal your moment.
Yeah.
I think that was my favorite bit of the movie.
That was awesome. I liked that.
Not everything that Ben Mendelsohn was in was the best.
He was hilarious.
Oh my God, he's great. Who knew?
Taps on it. Do it again. Do that thing again. It worked. You just imagine somebody adjusting rabbit ears on a TV set.
We didn't talk about this, but the costume itself, there's been a lot of praise. Miss Marvel or Captain Marvel or Carol Danvers, whatever. Not all of her costumes were super practical. The first one was kind of missing a middle, and then for about 30 years, she was just running around in a one-piece bathing suit. But this is, kind of full head to toe, and there was no kind of objectification of it. Except for this one scene in the front where, she's been kidnapped and they have her hanging upside down. There are all these shots of her feet. I'm like, who has a foot fetish here? This isn't a Quentin Tarantino movie.
I like how she goes back for her shoes after fighting barefoot on the Skrull ship.
But did that seem weird to you? I'm like, why?
Yeah.
Why are we doing the barefoot thing? It just felt it felt like a weird foot fetish thing.
Maybe so she didn't slip out of her boots.
I don't know.
Oh.
She's hanging upside
down. If you have
down.
proper foot restraints, I guess that's not a problem.
No, just was a weird thing. That's... Could be totally off base, but it just felt weird to me.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting that they changed who mar-vel was. Everyone was kind of thinking that it was Jude Law was mar-vel, but he wasn't.
Which is fine.
I thought he was good in this.
Oh yeah, Jude Law was good. He's always good.
He's very, and he played that line very well. The movie really lacks a true villain.
Yeah, there's Annette Bening who's playing the Supreme Intelligence, and they're like, no one knows what the Supreme Intelligence looks like. I'm like, it's a big head in a jar. That's what it is. It's a big head in a jar.
It manifests itself in any way it wants to, Zach.
Big head in a jar. That's all it is.
I like the way that they identify you're not a Skrull by asking, having that series of questions.
Yeah.
How do I know you're not a Skrull? Zap.
Annette Bening was fun though. She, in the two roles that she played as the Supreme Intelligence and as mar-vel, her second appearance as the Supreme Intelligence, there's a couple times with the music of this where I'm like, it was so on the nose, it was annoying.
Yeah.
That was one of them, there's this whole thing of self-discovery with Carol, and she walks into Come As You Are by Nirvana. I was like, oh, for God's sake.
Yeah.
God, that's on the nose. Or the fight
she makes a comment about grunge. Oh, music. Cute.
The fight scene to Just a Girl. I'm like, someone thought of that in a writer's room. They stood up and got an applause and thought it was genius, but it's just so on the nose.
I like it though.
Okay. If you do, you do. I was just like, It's the most obvious choice you could have made. And I like that song.
Yeah.
I also like Come As You Are. They're both good songs, but they're just so on the nose.
I thought, again, I like 90s music, so I like the soundtrack of it. I thought
I saw in the credits, I saw Kiss Me Deadly was in there. I couldn't pick out where Kiss Me Deadly was.
I think it may have been one of the karaoke songs from the flashback.
All right.
I liked, too, setting things up with her friend and the young girl, Melanie.
Monica.
Monica
Rambeau, who in the future
becomes Captain Marvel.
Yes, she is one of the numerous people to have the Miss Marvel or Captain Marvel title. And since this took place in the 90s, if you jump forward to when, Endgame and all that stuff, that put her about our age.
Yeah.
So they were planting the seeds of another potential one in there. I love Nick Fury just loses his eye to a cat scratch. That's all it is.
A flirkin' scratch.
It's nothing big. It's
a flirkin' scratch.
The least impressive way he could lose an eye, and I'm on board for it.
I thought it was hilarious.
I've kind of enjoyed it a couple times when Marvel's kind of like undercut the expectation. Like, it's the Mandarin. No, it's just a drunk.
Yeah.
Nick Fury, like, how did he lose his eye? He trusted someone once. What could it be?
I loved his story though. Like, Coulson goes, "Is it true that the Kree burned your eye out until you told him the location of the Tesseract? I can neither confirm nor deny." He puts the box of glass eyes down.
You have an important choice to make. I liked Clark Gregg in this. It was good to see him.
I thought they did a really good job with the de-aging of people.
Yeah,
it didn't look.
Clark Gregg looked a little.
He looked a little waxy.
But I mean, Samuel L. Jackson looked great.
Yeah, they.
I mean, they
did a great job.
I mean, maybe I'll see in like rewatchings, but I really didn't see any cracks in that.
No, they did a really, really good job with that.
Yeah, that's come a long way compared to like when they did it in X-Men 3 and it looks horrific.
Or Tron.
I haven't seen that in a number of years. I remember being impressed with it at the time, but
it doesn't.
I bet if I watched it now, I wouldn't.
It doesn't hold up as much. The dude does not abide.
I haven't seen that like since it came out. So,
but I mean, still, Tron's a good movie. Well, I enjoyed it.
I mean, the second Tron's a good movie. The first Tron is boring as hell.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Tron Legacy.
I enjoy that movie. First Tron sucks. Just think of that scene from like the Simpsons Halloween special when they're trying to describe the 3D land. They're like, "Did you guys see that movie Tron? It's like that." Just everyone goes around there like, "No, no, no, no." Wiggum says no, and then comes back and he's like, "Yes." I mean, no. Like, no one's seen because no one saw Tron.
I like some of the fights. Some of like the hand-to-hand combat.
Yeah, I didn't really like the last one. Something this movie was missing for me, and not every single Marvel movie has had it. There's been some that have also kind of missed this. I didn't have the oh wow moment, and that varies from like movie to movie. You could say like the Avengers when they're all together and there's the big circle, or Winter Soldier with the knife fight, or Endgame with the snap, or Black Panther like a smaller movie had like an oh wow would be like at the end, like Michael B. Jordan's kind of like death speech. And all those were like oh wow kind of moments.
What about the revelation of the Tesseract? That was kind of a
Oh, I mean, it was just
moment.
there. It was just, yeah, they're all connected.
But I think it's all going to come back to the Tesseract. Like that was the first one. That was the first Infinity Stone, and here it is. It's the last thing that we see before Endgame with the end credit scene with the Flurkin yakking up the Tesseract.
Yeah, and now so now a few of them have got their powers from those because Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch got their powers
from the Mind Stone.
Yeah, and now she got hers from the Space Stone. So yeah, they've all been getting powers from that crap.
And Vision, he was the...
Oh yeah, and him too. I'm a little concerned about the power scaling because we don't know how strong she is, because once she kind of unlocked her power, nothing touched her. She literally took a spaceship to the face and went, woo!
Yes.
So I have no idea where she stands up.
But you've talked about that trope in comic books before. Every now and then they just make somebody who's who's unbeatable, so they have to make somebody who's able to beat the person who's unbeatable.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I mean, she only had her full powers for a few minutes, and she was the strongest one there.
But then she flew across the galaxy, like across the universe, outside of a spaceship.
I'm sure if you punch her in the face hard enough, it'll hurt, but it's going to take a big punch.
Yes.
I thought it was an interesting twist to, I mean, boy, we read that Kree Skrull War. That had nothing to do with anything, it turns out.
No.
It may be in name only.
And the Skrulls aren't really that bad.
At least those couple guys aren't.
Yeah.
They're
peaceful Skrulls.
They're like refugees, which was different.
What did you think of the stuff with Ronan?
Oh, fun. It was a nice little connection. We'll see. I mean, they seem to be doing some sequel bait there, which isn't a bad thing. I mean,
for the good of all Kree.
You can fill that stuff in, and yeah, it was fine. It was nice having him in there. It was nice having that kind of connective tissue, and I like that they changed his look a little bit to make it so it wasn't, that guy didn't look any different in like 20 years.
Yeah.
So I liked that. Not overplayed, but it was good to see him. What else happened in this movie? Good cat CG.
Yes.
Because a lot of the times that obviously wasn't there on screen because of the things they were making that cat do, but that looked pretty good.
No, there were funny parts with the cat. Like, that was some of the best humor was the cat.
Can you turn into a filing cabinet? Like, why would I do that?
Yeah, that was funny. $50 right now.
I forgot that was the follow-up. I do think there was that funny scene. Apparently, this was in place before the internet, or that small section of the internet that we have to talk about sometimes was stupid, and they had that whole, oh, you should smile more. You look better if you smiled. I guess that scene was in there before the trailers came out and people were saying that. But that was a great moment where she steals the motorcycle.
Oh, yes. Wasn't there a line about losing your smile or something in there, too? Or no, maybe not.
There was the guy on the motorcycle was like, you should smile more. Like, you look prettier if you smiled.
Oh.
And then she just stole his crap.
Yeah.
Oh, Stanley. Let's talk about Stanley.
Oh, the
opening.
The opening credits, the opening logo.
Yeah. Boy, that got me glassy-eyed immediately. I'm like, oh, good movie. Now I'm already sad and it hasn't started. Thanks.
That was a really nice, touching tribute to him.
That was great. And then the cameo is really fun.
Yeah.
With him, because it's 1995 and he's reading the Mallrats script and you can just hear him saying the same line over and over again. Like he's rehearsing, I think it was like, take care, true believer. No, it's trust me, true believer.
Yes.
But
because he was in Mallrats.
Yes, as his not his first cameo, but his first big cameo, certainly. Which is a lot of fun because it's 95 and it's Stan and cameos and all that. But then if you think about it for more than a second, it just gets real weird. So in this world, we know that like Stanley has been like a watcher informant.
Yes.
But so if he's auditioning for Mallrats, if Mallrats exists in this universe, Mallrats is a big part of it. Is how great Stan Lee is, and his whole cameo is talking about how he created all of these different characters and what their relationship is to him. So Stan is some kind of weird god king in this world, I guess, where he's like, I created them and told their stories, but they also exist in this world. Wah!
Trust me, true believer.
Yeah. I'm like, oh,
also,
boy.
it's a nice shout out to Kevin Smith too.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw he put a big thing on. He's like, I spent all this time referencing movies, and now the movies are referencing me.
Good job.
But I didn't, it's 95. That was a good call.
I like it.
It just falls apart if you think about it. It's just, or we could say Mallrats is a different movie in this universe.
It totally could be.
There we go, solve the problem.
Ah, boy. Retcon that shit.
Just retconning Mallrats within a universe that's not real. So it was an easy task. I guess post-credit scenes. One of them is a cat throwing up the Tesseract, so now we know where that is, which was fine. Now we know how Fury got it back to put it in a case.
But there's a debate on the timing of that. Was that...
I think you just have that debate.
I don't know.
I think you're the only one. He has a desk. He doesn't have a desk right now.
He didn't have anything right now. He's a pile of ash.
Well, he didn't have a desk with his name on it. It's considering S.H.I.E.L.D. is gone.
Oh, yeah, good point.
The other one.
Way to piece it all together. Smart man.
We get a scene. I'll be curious about this. If it's going to be, because they've done this post-credit scenes a few different ways. Sometimes we get a post-credit scene that's just new information. Sometimes we get a joke one. And sometimes we get a post-credit scene that is just, 45 seconds pulled out of
the next movie.
Yeah. So I can't tell what this one is.
I don't
think there's a way to know, but.
No.
The only thing that would make me think it's maybe not involved with the next movie is that it has Cap's beard.
Well, it could be like early in the movie. Like, I'm just trying to figure out where the movie picks up. It has to pick up with them. I don't know. It saves them a lot of time if they do it this way, where it's like the movie just picks up with them.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, oh, you want to know what happened? Well, you had to see that, minute and a half of
because they have to
Captain Marvel post credit.
They would have to go find Fury's beeper, which by the way would be one of the luckiest finds.
Yeah, no, it's just in the middle of the street.
Yeah,
and maybe they low jacked his car and found it outside of his car.
They could have, yeah.
But yeah, I can't tell. I mean, I really liked the post credit scene. It was good seeing all those characters and kind of the aftermath. And I like Captain Marvel's kind of sleeker costume.
Yes. And just
the more streamlined one.
Yeah.
Even though we literally see it for 2 seconds, I'm like, I think I like that one better.
But it's really interesting. Like, they have no idea what this device does, but they're like charging it and using it.
Yeah. I'll be very curious to see if this is a clip taken from Endgame or if it's just
setting up that
you want to know what's happening, you keep up, you give us your extra money.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, I can't tell.
Do you think that
at first I took it as, oh, they're just cutting out some time here, but I'm leaning more towards I think it's probably just part of the movie.
I don't know. It would save them 20 or 30 minutes of movie. It's going to be 3 hours as it is.
There's a lot of movie there, yeah.
It saves them 20 minutes of movie, does it not?
Yeah, it would. I mean, how much time do you have to introduce a new character? But apparently she just shows up without any issue, so who knows?
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't tell.
I don't know.
Those are my thoughts on
Well, we'll find out in 4 or 5 weeks.
Yeah, no kidding. Those are the Captain Marvel thoughts. From there, it is time for a letter to the editors.
Lot of questions, number one. Damn few answers.
Here's another one of your letters to the editors.
Make it so.
If you want to reach us with your own questions where we will give A's to a Q and an A, you can send it over Twitter.
A query and an answer.
Email at editorsnotecomics@gmail.com, Facebook, or in person. All kinds of ways to get these questions out.
T to the Witter.
It's an easy one. But taking from separate universes, Universe A, Universe B, this is also pop culture universes that don't exist.
Okay.
If you could cross over two franchises that you would never see cross over, what would you like to see?
Batman and Ninja Turtles.
It's been done four times.
Oh.
5 times, almost 5 times.
So, really, you're telling me to create an amalgam.
I didn't say mash them together. Don't create Dark Claw or Thanos side.
Let's see. 2 pop culture universes for a crossover. I feel like we've done a crossover question before.
I don't know. It was probably 150 episodes ago.
Wow. Are we that close? Are we getting close to 200?
No, we're like at 154, I think.
Wow. Time flies. That's like 3 years of podcasting.
Yeah.
Holy cow. What a waste.
We only missed a week.
What a waste of our lives.
I can give you mine.
Oh, yes, please.
Kill
Yes.
some time. I just got to start sending you these ahead of time.
You should.
I say, like, what are 2 things I want to see? I'm like, all right. Like, what's something you can kind of go up against a superhero universe that isn't? And I just jumped to, like, Friday the 13th. Jason, by the end of that, is an unkillable zombie. Or you could even go further. It'd be like Jason X when he's in the future, and he's, like, also half a robot and in space. Like, Jason's done some stuff. But I was more going with classic, like, in the woods Jason. Like, once he gets the hockey mask after 3.
Okay.
Once his kills just start getting ridiculous and he becomes a weird zombie. And I was like, all right, so what would be kind of like a street level character to fight Jason? I'm like, well, he's mostly based in the woods except for in part 8 and part 10 and part 1 where he's not really in it. One time he took Manhattan. That was about 10 minutes of an 80-minute movie.
He kills Freddy.
Yeah, but that was still in the woods for some of it.
He cuts his head off.
But then he winks.
He's Freddy.
And then he goes to space, like I already said in part 10. I'm like, all right, who'd be a good like street level guy to fight unkillable zombie Jason Voorhees? I'm like, well, you wouldn't want to do like Wolverine because he just cut his head off and that'd be the end of it.
Yeah.
So I thought maybe do like Daredevil versus Jason.
Huh.
Use their Jason could go to Manhattan, but I think it'd be more fun to have like Daredevil go in the woods, which you don't usually see, and have to use his senses like just against this unstoppable force. Because he's not stronger than a man, or Daredevil isn't. He's just really athletic and has radar sense. So he's like the peak of human existence. But how does the peak of human existence do against unkillable machete zombie?
It's a good question.
I think it'd be an interesting matchup.
How about this?
Okay.
The Ghostbusters.
Okay.
And Space Ghost.
Weird. Why not?
Actually, this Space Ghost is kind of just relatively benign person.
Or the Ghostbusters and Dead Man. He's a DC character who's dead, but the only way he communicates, what's his name? Something Brandt.
What about Howard the Duck and DuckTales?
Just a foul-mouthed duck that doesn't want to be there.
While
they're searching for treasure.
Yes. It seems like it would be up his alley. I don't know. I feel like it'd be, Ghostbusters, kind of that universe exists in itself. So I don't know if I'd want to mess with that.
Who are the Ghostbusters? There's a Ninja Turtles crossover with Ghostbusters.
Is there really?
Yeah. There's 2 of them. Once again, the first one's enjoyable.
What about Ghostbusters and The Walking Dead?
But what are they gonna? I guess they could just shoot them with proton packs.
With unregistered nuclear accelerators strapped to their backs.
Maybe give those people a source of energy.
Wow. Just cut them in half, mow them down. See, I wish I had this ahead of time. I could have jotted down some ideas.
There's always you could always do the opposite ones. Like I know there was one where it's like Punisher meets Archie, that's not what I'm making up. That's the one that's real.
What? Where's Jughead? I must punish him.
I mean, they've done that with Archie, but like there's Predator meets Archie.
Archie crossed over with everybody though.
There's also Punisher meets Eminem.
Was he rap battle him?
I've never read it. I can't tell you.
I
just know it's a thing.
Walk your ass back across 8 Mile, Punisher. Ooh, here we go. The animated Harlem Globetrotters.
Okay.
And the Monstars from Space Jam. The epic basketball game. Like you wouldn't believe.
Yeah, why not?
Why not the Ghostbusters and Scooby-Doo and the Ghostbusters accidentally murder a man because he's dressed as a ghost?
They just try and catch him. He starts to go to the ghost trap and then he just explodes.
He's meddling.
In a pile of guts.
You meddling children?
Why not? All right, I guess that'll do it. I think that's the show.
I sound like an idiot because you didn't give me this ahead of time. There's great potential. I'm going to think of the ones tomorrow and text you and be like, wow, I feel dumb now.
Next week, we'll be back doing a little bit of endgame prep. How do you beat Thanos? Maybe it's been done in the comics before.
He usually loses.
Yeah. Next week, we'll be looking at Thanos' first major loss. It's a really great thing. It's awesome. I can't wait to do it.
All right.
But if you want to reach us, mostly on the website.
Also, if you like the show, go to patreon.com/editorsnotecomics. $1 a month gets you this show a whole day early. Plus, it gets you Patreon exclusive podcasts, including exclusive interviews like you got last week.
Yeah, that was up like 11 days early.
Yeah.
And there's a Patreon exclusive review of Buffy #3 up right now.
Yes, plus you get Buffy reviews, spoiler and spoiler free.
Yeah.
All through Patreon. Also, $5 on Patreon gets you to be a Duke or Duchess of the podcast. Nobody's done that in like a year, so I feel like the kingdom is gone by the wayside. Plus, all the social networking platforms and the stores at 210 Water Street in Holloway, where there's been a recent reduction in back issues, old back issues.
And new stuff, new old stuff. And you're on Twitter.
At Junior Rich. Just hit 10,000 tweets, baby. Woo!
It's not something to be proud of.
Why not?
It's not something to not be proud of. It's just a thing that happens.
I've had 10,000 mostly unique thoughts. And my 10,000th tweet kind of highlighted the fact that I have nothing classy or smart to say because it's only setting the bar too high and it doesn't match anything I've done previously. I like to be consistent.
All right, we'll be back next week talking some Endgame stuff. Bye.
Hey.